One thing about this, it does kind of tell the story of the caverns for us. We do know that at one point in time, there would have been water rushing through the caverns, and that is evident in what you see here. In some of our pathways, we do have whirlpools, and some pathways we'll show you out later that were carved out by water rushing through. We know the caverns are about 200 million years old, according to the scientists that have come in. And at one point in time, there would have been a shallow ocean located over this area. Now that's how the water would have eventually, and it would have actually traveled through Headache Rock and met up with Rydell Falls. Water always does travel to the next heaviest body around. That's why you will see the water taking certain pathways throughout our caverns. Also, we do have different forms of stalactites, and I will show you one here. This is actually what we call our cave curtain. You will see that hanging down above the wishing stone. It's just because they hang in this flat shoe-like appearance. Also, this does look like a bat hanging upside down, and unfortunately, this is probably the closest thing we'll get to seeing a bat today. We maybe have like 25 to 30 bats in the cave total, so that's our best estimate, and we don't see them at all, really. One thing you will see here, though, that does fly, we actually do have our cave dragon. You will notice that here. Basically, this is the head with the mouth open wide, all the way down to its wing. We'll let there for you guys. And you know, we get a lot of Jurassic Park fans in here, so we like to call this a T-Rex as well. You'll see his tiny arm hanging down there. And another fun one here, we always see a lot of things up here, but this is what we call our skyscrapers. And every time I bring in a school group, you know what they call these? Cheetos. They kind of look like Cheetos there, so I guess that's what they see, and I can't not think of that now, so I'd like to mention that for you guys. But you might see some small faces throughout here, you know, kissing faces or little gnome faces, and this even looks like we placed a porcelain couple there, just something that grew on the outside. But one more piece I'll show you here, we do actually have a jellyfish as well. This is actually indicating and kind of showing us how things grow in the cave over time. I like to say when they grow. Also, you're going to see our soda straws. Basically, they came through and said, that looks like a soda straw. I guess we'll just call it that. That's also how we got icing as well. You're going to see a lot of these rocks here, based on the coloration, are fairly old. And that's why when you see this vivid calcite here, that's just where a thin covering is resting over those older rocks. So that's why we call it our icing. One more thing you guys will see here, though. We actually have our map of the United States above. You'll notice we have Florida, all the way up to Maine, over to Washington around, and we even do have the mountain ranges, so, you know, neat little map there. Awesome.
Yeah, it's got your
The Northern Lights? Yeah. This is one end of the cave. This is actually under our sinkhole here. You will notice there's a lot of material here blocking off our pathway, so we know that from the surface, the sinkhole does go fairly deep, but we don't actually know how far it would have gone underground. Basically, there's no other entrances from the other side, so we can't really give you a good idea for how far it goes across. Basically, just imagine what you see from the surface when you go back. It will be on the right-hand side. That's about how large this area would have been. We do call this the mayor's chambers, though, because it does have an interesting history. So as you can hear, my voice is traveling around the room, so it does create an acoustically sound area. But also, with it being about 55 to 60 degrees in here throughout the year, it would have made a nice air-conditioned place in the summer. So the mayor of Bristol came in and decided, this is going to be a great place for my city council meetings. Now, why would he want to use the cave? Well, it is nice and cool and they didn't have air conditioning, but also, if he's in that corner there, and we have a group larger than we have today, there might be 2 or 3 guys in the back of the corner, saying bad things about him, or conspiring against him, and he'd be able to hear what they were saying. So he would find those people during the meetings and have them tossed out, and it would have been fun to watch people being dragged out during those meetings. They also do use this as a wedding space as well. You know, people exchange their vows in front of Bridal Veil Falls and then have a bit of a reception in here. But we do want to show you just a couple fun pieces that we have here. One thing you're going to notice is we actually have Polly the parrot there. Now, she gets camera shy when we come in though. She likes to turn her head away. And she actually does have a very famous neighbor. Speaking of heads, we are actually growing our own Mount Rushmore here. And if you look in the corner, you'll see we are starting with President Abraham Lincoln. So you can see his hair and his beard line there.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
It looks like President Lincoln City.
And we do have one more piece I'd like to show you on this hall here. That actually is our nativity scene. You'll notice that over here in the corner. You can see Mary and Joseph and all the figures below. And when I dim the light, you'll see we even have an angel. So you can see that there. Now we are missing the wise men though. You know, they traveled so far. They were following that star, and they still are traveling in looking for their camels here, or riding on their camels here.
That's cool.
So we do have a lot of fun things to show you guys today. Is everybody through? So I will go ahead and mention, we're actually under Bridal Veil Falls here. You will see it is a very ancient waterfall, and it actually did carry water right through our standing. It would have carved out some of our limestone here and made a pathway down towards the river as well. Also, you're going to see that Cheaters Rock would have been a part of that surface at one point in history. Basically with water flowing down across the side, it would have started to erode away a trough, and then all would have fallen down during an earthquake. Now, we get to see Lover's Leap from the bottom. That actually is a 60-foot leap there, so definitely not something you want to try at home. I'm just going to take your word for it in the future. But you will see above the leap there, we actually do have a tiny baby dinosaur on the ceiling. So notice him there. Now, if we had a baby dinosaur, you know, it's quite possible we had a caveman at one point in time. You will see to the right here, we actually have a caveman's club, or a turkey leg drumstick as some people call it. And if we're going to have a turkey leg drumstick, we probably want dessert. Well, we do actually have a double dipper ice cream cone over here. And if I'm going to make an ice cream cone, it's probably going to look something like this. But why we like to stop you here is because we actually do have something neat that we call cave coral. You will see this here forming, and it actually does have a distinct property to it. Not the crystalline property we're noticing there, but you will see when I put the light up to it, it actually is a translucent rock. So you'll notice there, basically the light does travel through here very easily, just because it's not very dense mineral-wise. Now, this is actually how Bridal Veil Falls and some of these other structures did start to form over time. So that would have these whirlpools. Basically with the water rushing back and forth in an ebb and flow motion, that's what would have caused these to form. Now, you also do see something else over here. We call this our cave popcorn. Basically, that started out as wet limestone in the surface. It would have eroded away in large clumps and fallen down and stuck to the surface. We call this cave popcorn, and I'm fairly certain they were hungry when they came through, just because we see a lot of food references for our structures. Also, you'll see on the right-hand side there, that's actually our twin castles with the little village below out there. And I like to call that Hogwarts and Hogsmeade Village. It kind of looks like that on the right. And one more piece you will see on this level, that actually is our fire hydrant. You know, nature was really nice. They decided there might be fire codes someday, so let's go ahead and make a hydrant for them. So you see we have one there. You guys are getting anxious here, so it will show you we have a lot of little lights there. So we have a lot of pathways. So as we go down, I'll let you guys get some couple moments here when we go down. But that is about a mile to the right-hand side out there until you reach the Holston River. And there's maybe 3 foot deep of water or less as you go out. We also do have the pathway that you'll see around here. We call that the beach, and we do have a bit of a beach all the way out to the river. Now there is a large gating system there, so we're not able to get you will actually see this forming inside of our limestone here. It is starting to erode away, and when this would have fallen down to the beach, they could have picked up a piece and broken it up into something about the size of a quarter, maybe a little larger or smaller, just depending on what they were hunting. That's what we did find in this area, and also on the other beach we'll show you in a few moments. And we do have some of the chert here you guys are able to touch if you'd like. That is placed on the right side there. Just make sure you don't go on the beach. It does get very dangerous down here. Also, they did use this to make knives as well. It does have a good edge for cutting when you do sharpen. We actually did find 4 snapping turtles in here within the last couple of weeks. I haven't seen them in a while, but we'll keep our eyes out for anything in the water. And I will mention, you will see on the left-hand side here, to your right, my left, this actually is what we call our cave squid. And basically, where it sits right there, that's about the average water line for the last couple hundred years. It is an active flow, and you do see a lot of drips falling down there at the bottom. There is a little bit of a spring above that, a natural spring. Now, we know these flows can't grow in the water because it is a drip, and they just be carried off in the stream. So that's why it does tell us, excuse me, this is actually the creek there for the last couple hundred years or so. And there are days when this actually is covered up with water. There'll be enough rushing through from sinking springs that that's covered up, and we can't even get down to our lowest point here. But we'll make our way there today. And if you, I want to mention, if you haven't gotten any good luck yet, you're about to get a lot of it. So be cautious as you move down this recent. So I'm going to look for some fish as we go by and see what we have in the creek. Here's actually good visibility today, so we might have a shot at seeing something. And as you guys are coming around, I will mention a couple fun things we see out here. You'll notice we have King Kong climbing the Empire State Building right there in the center. If you want to see the back towards there. And if you look up to the right-hand side, we got a pirate ship in here. That could be our crow's nest up there. We'll keep our eyes out as we go around. I do want to show you a piece here. Once you guys get around the corner, you'll actually see where we have our cave bacon. It actually does look like bacon here, so just a few things. And all our fish actually do come outside the pattern. So they're about blind. A lot of the cave fish you will find are blind because they spend most of their lives in the darkness and don't have any access to light like you would if you're outside the regular. And right here is where you'll see our cave fish. I'll point that out as well. You'll see that on our rock surface here as you guys come around. This is our deepest point of the creek out here. It's about 11 foot deep in that area. And that's where you're going to find a lot of fish, just because they do pull up in those deeper, darker areas. Also, you'll see behind me, it gets down to maybe 2 or 3 inches, and that's why we get a lot of rapids throughout the caverns, because it does come off this heavy body of water here. And there are times when the water will actually flow through here. There is a good enough gap from sinking springs that allows water to flow in easily. And there's times when that pathway you're standing on is underwater. I will mention we're going to see where Sinking Springs enters just around the corner here, and you'll notice how the limestone is sitting, close to the water line here. Now, it is about half a mile to get to Sinking Springs, to get out of the cavern in that direction, basically, and the limestone does sit just about on top of the water. So you wouldn't be able to get out in that direction just because it is very narrow, and also the water is very shallow. So you'll see on the left-hand side that we actually do have another sculpin. This one's closer, about 4 or 5 inches in that range. They do get up to 6 inches maximum, so that's probably a large one to see there. And then something to notice on the left-hand side, that's 6. There is a good little puddle here, so we can do that. And as you guys are coming around, I will mention, when you look out in this direction, you will see the path that goes towards Sinking Springs. Now, as you'll see, it is very narrow through there, so once you hit to a certain point beyond where our lights are, you actually can't get out at all. So that's why the Cherokee would have had to have gone in this direction here. Also, that water does pass through several farmlands, and they have cows and pesticides, so definitely not something you want to drink after. But we do have a natural spring source over here. You will see that it's actually flowing down naturally over this area. Basically, they added a waterfall effect in there just for fun early in today's public history. But you will see evidence of a pump left behind. It actually did carry water up to our surface here. Through the natural entrance, they had a bucket and pulley system. So they could fill the buckets inside the caverns and pull them out to the surface. That's how they would have gotten their clean, safe drinking water at that point in time. Question?
It looks like a pipe, like that pipe. It's like a pipe.
Yeah, that's a pump right there. So they had some pipes running through there. Basically, would have gone all the way up here at some point. Would have been very interesting to navigate these rocks, but you'll see in this direction here, this actually is where our natural entrance is located. So when you guys get to this point, you'll be able to see that high in the sky there. The Cherokee basically rappelled down through these rocks where we're standing today, and then would have gone towards the creek in that direction. Now, I will go ahead and mention they found 18 partial Cherokee skeletons dispersed throughout this area when they did excavate the caves a bit, so we know there would have been a lot of accidents. They would have been coming in here in a hurry at some points in time, and also with it being pitch black, you wouldn't be able to see where you're going, so your depth perception would be off. You don't realize it is about a 180-foot drop off until you're making that journey, so that's something you'll see once you do get to Panoramic Point. But do take some time to look around. We actually have our exercise stairs behind me here, so just make sure you guys do go slowly up these. And if anybody would like to take an alternate route, you can head back down this pathway. And there is a set of stairs, here's the bridge here. There's a set of stairs on the backside. You can actually walk up those. It is not a steep turn. It's basically just going in little turns. So either way you guys do choose, make sure you take your time and use the handrail. We found the surface to arrive safely. So that's why there would have been a lot of accidents. Ropes and things would have snapped. They might have slipped down coming through at times as well. But you will see here, also you can see a picture of him in the gift shop. We do have one of those there for you guys, if you want to check that out. Now that's where we find our bats as well, just because it is a deeper, darker area and it is very undisturbed. They don't like our cords or our logging systems, so that's why they usually do hide throughout that area. And as I mentioned, we probably only have 25 or 30 bats. That's our best estimate that we can get. I do want to mention though, you have a couple of places where you would see them in the tunnels, so they do come during. So I'll give you guys some time to look around. If you have any questions or anything, let me know. Eventually we do take the path towards the right. We're just trying to make our time back. We do actually go back the way we came, but we always will stop and catch our breath on that landing.